What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You already know what time it is, man. This is your boy, the historian. But before we get live with the show, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so we can go ahead and get these likes up and continue to keep bringing you the funk that we do. Let's get this thing started. You either get right or you get left.
Okay, y'all, this is it.
Man, what's going on? You already know how we get down, baby. This is your boy, the historian. We're getting ready to get into this thing. Please hit that like and subscribe button for us tonight so we can go ahead and continue to keep bringing you the funk as we do. Yeah, I went old school today. I'm feeling it or whatever, man. I got my gazelles on, as you can see, and I had to take it back to my fisherman's cap. So, hey, man, and I got a little bit aphrodisiac mixed with a little 80s, but a little something different. But anywho, man, got to bring in my right hand man, K-Dub, Killer Killian Worthy, bringing him into the building and into the spot so we can get this thing popping. We got Graybeard coming in a little later this evening or whatnot. He's getting some things squared away. So what's going on, bro?
What's going on, BirdCage listeners and subscribers and all our followers out there? It's good to see everyone this week getting ready for the battle against the Texans out there, and so we're going to go ahead and continue to keep winning and go moving forward. Good to see you today, Mr. Historian, with the gazelles on, looking real sporty today.
Hey man, I'm feeling a little sporty. I like that Falcon shirt you got on. There. Little bit camouflage. I see you going into your military days, or you about to go hunting on Sunday?
Yeah, a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? But I just do the military touch on it. You know. Today.
Hey man, there's nothing wrong with that. So we getting ready to get into this thing, man. But let's talk about something that the Falcon fans have been kind of questioning. Let's talk about this thing with Bijan Robinson first.
Okay.
You know, I didn't have it in the chat or whatnot tonight, but I got to bring it up because people want to know. You know, Bijan, they say he was feeling ill. But, you know, the Falcons never gave her an accurate report about him being ill or even not even being in the lineup because he was in for 12 plays, and he only got one snap or whatnot last Sunday against Tampa. Do you think he really was sick, or do you think it possibly could be a disciplinary action that Arthur Smith might have taken with some issues that might have happened in behind closed doors that we as the fans don't know about?
Well, I mean, there's supposed to be some speculations and some smoke coming from that it may could be something internally like a disciplinary action. But I really don't know until they get through with the investigation. I mean, I hope he was actually injured, but maybe the Falcons take a slap on the wrist or fine or something for not uh, basically letting the league know that he was injured or feeling ill or whatever it may be.
Well, I'll just say this. If he was injured, I'll say I really feel like, they should have reported that because that could hurt us in the long run, if you really want to be honest.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
yeah, I just kind of wish that somebody in the front office would get control of what's going on because we've been strapped for cash for years. We finally got a team that's competitive. We don't need anything going on right now to throw off the momentum that this team has finally started to have with learning how to win and just being competitive in games at this point.
Yeah, for sure, man. We gotta have all hands on deck to get the job done. What we're trying to do, and that is go into the playoffs this year. So that's
Hmm.
goal and our EMB goal for this year is to get to those playoffs. So we don't need any kind of distractions or any kind of things that hick us up. I'm there for me. Just want to see how he's used this week. If did have a stomach flu bug or whatever it may be, just how he's used this week because the running game really worked very well without him really getting a lot of touches last week. So we'll see
You
how
know you're gonna strike a nerve. You know you're gonna strike a nerve with that one, but it's a William shirt.
you're breaking up. Go ahead, say that again, Mr. Historian.
I said it's a reason why I wore my William Andrews shirt. It's a reason why I wore this Andrews shirt tonight. Because think about it. Tyler Algier broke William Andrews' rookie record last year, sharing carries with three other backs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't. Let's just be real, man. Let's call. I mean, how can I put it? You get a guy that gets stronger as the game goes on. He was sharing carries. He breaks almost a 40. He breaks pretty much a 40-year-old record that was around. And so many great backs that we've had in this organization have yet to even eclipse what he did as a rookie. So it's like, okay, I get Bijan as the new shiny toy, but hey man, you got a guy that was really in the runnings for the rookie of the year candidate last year. You know what I'm saying? And he was a guy that was a low round draft pick. Shout out to my guy Chris Foot, Terry Hart, Damian Mitchell, Rhonda Broadnex, my auntie, what's happening? And shout out to our Facebook users that are tuning in tonight that's commenting in the section. Didn't want to forget y'all. And yeah, I got on the William Andrews joint tonight, as you can see. So it was, because hey, we got a group back, a very good back in this kid, Tyler Algier. The thing is, it's like, okay, you got Bijan, who definitely is a talent, but I'll be honest with you. Tyler Algier needs to be getting just as much love because he carried that load last Sunday for us. And he helped establish the running game.
Well, I'm an advocate, like I've been saying the last few weeks, is of him leading the charge, coming out there first and weakening the defensive lines down that we face against each week. And then once he starts to get hands on hips on the tired defenses, then you bring in the BR7 experience. I'm going to stick to that, and that's the way we should be going forward, moving with this offense.
I agree wholeheartedly, man. And when you really look at it, it's so many things that goes into that. And the offensive line is starting to become better at eating when it comes to the running game. They're starting to eat a little bit more. And that's the beauty of it. But the question is, can we continue to keep the pass protection up because it was very good last Sunday? And, Desmond Ridder was able to have a pretty solid day with throwing the football last week, minus the turnovers that he had with fumbling the football. I got to give it to the young buck. He was slinging the ball around the yard.
Yeah, he did great. I mean, if they continue to just give him a little bit of time, you see that he can make some better decisions. But we just got to continue to limit our turnovers, and we'll be in a great place. But I feel like they put in more. He did use his legs a lot more. This is what he's going to have to do this particular season. I'm not saying for his career when he learns how to read defenses better and get more acclimated to the NFL game. But this particular season, he's going to have to use those legs a lot more than he thought he would have to. I understand that you want to stay in the pocket and be traditional quarterback. But with the offensive alignment that you have and the team and the guys around you, you're going to have to move. There's no time back there, no more than about 2 seconds without making a quick decision either to run or to throw the ball away or to get it out to one of your receivers or running backs coming out of the backfield or out wide.
Exactly. And looking at how that goes, man, you really see so many things that could go so many different ways. But we're gonna talk about these things that are gonna help out with the Titans on Sunday. So we're getting ready to get into our Dirtybirdz topics. That was just a little something we had to put a little bird feed out there for you, sprinkle a little something in there for you tonight, just to get the chops wet. But getting to it, welcome, 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 who are just coming into the building, into the cage with us tonight. We're gonna talk about these Falcons playing against these Titans on Sunday. So the first thing is we have our second road test against a 2-5 team. I don't expect the crowd to be as hostile because they're not that good this year, even though Nashville is very supportive of the Titans. But can the Falcons, and I'm gonna switch it up a little bit tonight real quick, and we're gonna talk about this offense first before we get to this defense. Can the Falcons negate the penalties, create turnovers to get this win on Sunday? Can they do that? How can the Birds literally mitigate all of the mishaps we've had and pretty much contribute that to points? Because I'm not saying it's going to be an easy game because it's going to be a physical game on Sunday because of how that team is built in Tennessee. But the question is, can we cut out the turnovers and just make this a smash mouth game how Arthur Smith likes it?
Well, my opinion is I'm praying they can, because I mean we can't go forward with having 3-4 turnovers in the ball game and expect to win every week. So we got to get back to the basics, and I hope that's what we did this week, and just proper alignment, just so making sure you hear the snap call. I mean, just the little details. It's going to be loud in a road environment, so we have to expect that. And if you're going to be professional offensive lineman, professional defensive lineman, and offensive threats on the outside, receivers or tight ends, you need to line up properly and know your spacing. Don't be, it just, like I said, this is like Pee Wee football all over again. It's basically, the basics. You have to adhere to the basics first so you can get to where you're going. So I hope they harped on that this week and continue to harp on it, even in pregame warm-ups. You just remember your basics. Remember your core teachings. When you're a young kid growing up in Park and Little League and high school football and college and so forth. It just goes back to the basics, man. I mean, jumping off sides, illegal shifts and all. I mean, all this stuff is this basic stuff. It's just you got to continue to stay focused and continue to do work. But I'm praying that they can get it done. But if it goes to what we normally see, we're going to have a couple of turnovers. I just hope they're not costly enough to where they cost us the game. I mean, just being honest.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's go ahead and open up that can, because you just mentioned something that was very important. If you look at so far this season with us having this 4-2 record, 4-3 record, let's look at it. We've had 144 total first downs this year. We've had, 54. I'm sorry, out of that 144 first downs, when you look at rushing and passing, we've had 54 rushing first downs, and 54 rushing first downs, and then you had 81 passing first downs, and then you had 9 first downs that was given us by penalty. So when you look at it, we're able to convert on first down. What I'd like to see get a little bit better is our third down conversion, because so far this season, we're 37 out of 93 attempts. We've only gotten 37 conversions on the third down out of 93 attempts this year. We've got to get that number a little bit better. Even though we have a good percentage, we've got to become a little bit more consistent and proficient with third downs this year. And go ahead.
Second that. I mean, we always want to be great on third down. That could go back to the play calling that we're calling. What are the plays that we're calling on third down? It may not be high percentage plays that we need to be calling at our offense. We need to go down plays that we call, what are our high successful rate plays in short yardage. That's the plays that we're running instead of running gimmicky, trying to get cute plays. I mean, that's just opinion, you know what.
And I mean, you're absolutely right about that, because I'm looking at, like I said, I'm pulling up the numbers for everybody. We only have 11 touchdowns this season, only 11. You
Yeah.
know, in 7 weeks, that's unacceptable. As many times as we've been to the red zone, we've got to be in attack mode. Like when we were on the doorstep with Tampa last week, you got to punch that in. You got to
Yeah.
punch that in. Both times you're on the 1 yard line, you can't fumble the ball. You can't fumble the snap. So, you know, everybody's putting that all on Ritter. Yeah, Ritter fumbled on the one because of piss poor ball placement. If you saw the viral video that they have out today, Desmond Ritter's working on holding on to the football. He's working on tight spaces, and he's also working on being able to operate in different areas. Now, I'll give you this. I'll give you this. I really think that I think that, you know, you look at it, we had 5 rushing touchdowns this year so far. Would have had 7. We should, you know, would have had 7 if we'd have had those 2 from last Sunday. The next thing that we have is 6 passing touchdowns. And then you got a turnover ratio of -7. That ain't good at all. That's not good. And
Terrible.
offensively, we've got to cut down on these blunders, and we've got to put ourselves, the Falcons have got to put themselves in a position to where you're able to move the ball up and down the field on anybody. Pretty much. No one can stop that. I have yet to see a defense stifle that Falcons offense, you know, and keep them away from the end zone. They've got to capitalize on more opportunities that this defense creates, period. Because the defense has kept us in games. We didn't have this defense. We literally might be looking like the Carolina Panthers right now.
No, I mean, we invested wisely into the defense. I see the money that we spent wisely because, you know, the numbers prove it. And we went out and got a new different defensive coordinator that actually has a pulse and wants to coach. But the thing is with our offense is the reason why we're having problems trying to generate points is the fact that when we get down there, we have to capitalize, like you're saying. We have to put those points in there. We just shooting ourselves in the foot. I feel like this team would be further along if we had a quarterback that was developing this year, because you have a run game. You have an adequate enough offensive line. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst in league history offensive line. It's some kind of bright spots because you can get running yards if you run your core plays. I just feel like it's all about the rotation of the players that you're using and the way you're calling those plays to set up, you know, your successful ones. I feel like it's a lot of our plays that go east and west when we need to be going north and south. So, and then, you know, this league is built on a lot of speed. So a lot of those plays get cut down because of calling them. So we need to call them where they're going more north and south instead of going east and west. That's just the way I look at it when I've been watching the Falcons, you know, the past few weeks.
And the other thing, like we were saying about the penalties, negating everything at this point and just taking us out of scoring drives, messing up the momentum. The other issue that we're having offensively is this play calling. One minute, you know, we look like world beaters. The next minute, we look like Clark Kent bumbling over papers and tripping, and like we say, tripping over a doggone chair that's in the way that you can see. You know, the plays are good. The play, I as much as grief as I give Arthur Smith, I got to give it to him. The play designing is very good. It's a little bit more creative than what he had last year, but the issue is it's inconsistent. You can see one drive where you see 3 drives in that game and we're humming. Like it looks like we getting ready to just slice through a defense like a knife through hot butter. That's what it looks like. And then that knife gets a little rusty and it's not as hot, and you're sitting there chopping butter. It's not as smooth as and efficient as it would be slicing through that butter. But the question is, are we going to get better play calling this week? Or do you think that they're going to continue to live on the edge and keep and keep everybody off balance and keep people's heart rate up.
Well, I mean, that seems to be the motto of the Falcons: keep our heart rate up. I mean, just everybody have their blood pressure medicine and their heart pills close by. But I pray that it's not that way. But I also say I've been saying this whole year that, I mean, we'll take it. A win is a win. You know, with this type of team, you want to blow people out, but I mean, if you win by field goal every week, if somebody told, hey, and the Falcons will go 11 wins, but every one of them will be by field goal, you'd be like, I'll take it.
Yeah, because guess what? We go into the playoffs. It's a chance. And here's the thing: we're used to being in dogfights and grudge matches. Now, the question is, when we get up against a high-powered offense this year, how are they going to respond when they get hit quick? Are we? I mean, we're not built to play from behind. We really aren't. Even though we've come back this year and had, game-winning drives, but we're really not built to play from behind or play toe-to-toe with somebody. We're a ball control type of team and heavy defense. So the question is, say again?
No, I didn't want to cut you off. Go ahead and finish.
And here's the thing: I agree with Artavius. We should be putting up 30 points a game. But the question is this: if we ever get to be in front of a team that actually has a heartbeat and that actually can generate points at the drop of a dime, like a Kansas City or even a Jacksonville, because Jacksonville is starting to find their rhythm now. After that win they had against us in London, because we could have taken that game because they didn't play their best game. And if you saw how they just pretty much just slapped New Orleans, the way that they went into New Orleans and slapped them, you really see that young team, I'll be honest with you, if that defense plays anything like they've been playing this year in the playoffs, they'll beat Kansas City. That's just my opinion. Us, I think we matched up better with them because we were physical and we were able to control the possessions. We just wasted our stinking possessions against them.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, we're developing. Our defense is developing. They're playing good right now, but I think you haven't even seen the best of our defense because everybody's still learning each other as they go. They're still, like OJT, learning on the job with each other, how to play with each other. So I think our defense will probably be even more down the road, even though they're playing pretty good right now. And the same thing with the offense. You have a developing quarterback, and every week as he develops, he may be, continue to gradually get better, and we can actually put up more points going forward. That's my belief, but I mean, only time will tell and see how his maturation happens as a starting quarterback in this league. But right now he's coming off a win. I want to be supportive of the gentleman. So let's go out there and get Tennessee and knock them off and keep moving forward.
Now, the one thing we gotta hope is Arthur Smith doesn't get is what we would say a deer caught in the headlights type of look, like what happened with Doug Peterson with the Kansas City Chiefs when he played against his old boss, Andy Reid. Most of the time you have some of these guys that are assistants for so long and they do great things. It's just the fact that they get nervous and they get shook because they know how this coach thinks and what they bring to the table. They get a little nervous. Yeah. So when I look at it, bro, I look at it like this. I really feel as if now Arthur Smith is going back to Tennessee next week with his former coach that he worked with. And, some of his players that he had over there, some of them are still there. Some of them are gone. But I really feel like he has to just stick to what we've been doing. Just stick to what we've been doing. Don't try to get cute with anything. Don't try to show out, or if you show out to win, but not try to show out like, oh yeah, I've evolved since I've been. No, stick to what you know, play your game plan, and just let's collect these points. Let's get out of there with a win, and let's do what we need to do. Let's outmuscle these cats because they're not built this year. I mean, they're still gonna be a tough team, but they're not built like us to go into a dogfight.
No, I mean, I feel the same way you feel about it, but I think he's gonna do quite the opposite and get cute. I just hope that his cute moves work and it actually gets us a win. But I just got a feeling he's gonna try to get cute. But I just hope that it pays off this week instead of not paying off. But I do got a feeling he's gonna try to get cute somewhere and somehow in that game. But I just hope it's successful.
Now, speaking of getting cute or whatnot on his offensive side of the ball, we already talked about Desmond Ritter being in a situation where he's working on improving his ball skills and everything. And we've already talked about the penalties. And, can the kid have a mistake-free game this Sunday and play a clean game where we can get through efficiently without turnovers on his end trying to do too much?
I'm praying. That's all I keep saying is we have to limit the turnover. We have to limit the turnovers. I mean, if we can have a mistake-free game, I can go out. I would go out on the limb and say that's a guaranteed win. If we can limit, if we go in there with no turnovers, no false starts, no delay of games and all these penalties, keep the penalties low, and like I said, we should come out there with a win. No turnovers, and you keep the penalties very, very low minimum. We should come out of there with a win if we play like.
Now, Artavius just put this up. He says, do you think we should be pass heavy or run heavy now that we're on playing clean and talking about penalties? I honestly think you need to go to your bread and butter, and that's running the ball. Now, if that dude Simmons is disruptive, here's my thing. You go into 12 personnel or you go into 11 personnel and you start hitting them with those tight ends and start hitting them with those slot receivers. That's how you start beating them, because they literally just lost Bird, their safety, this week, getting traded to the Philadelphia Eagles.
I mean, so when they moved Bird from Tennessee, were they giving up on him, or what's going on with that?
I mean, they got a couple of picks for him, but at the end of the day, Philly is trying to win a Super Bowl. They're built still from last year to win a Super Bowl, and I think the kid from Illinois, that kid Brown, Sidney Brown, I think he's a little banged up right now, but they're also bringing him in, Bird in, because Bird is a veteran. He's played in playoff games. He's been one of the productive safeties in the league, just like Jesse Bates. And that is a position that Philly has struggled with since Malcolm Jenkins retired. So,
okay.
So looking at it, they're bringing in a veteran safety who knows the game, who can learn quick, and he's going to teach this kid Brown, and he's going to be an anchor at that secondary. That's why they brought him in.
I know I like the player. I'm saying, why did Tennessee give him up? I know why.
Tennessee's in rebuild mode right now. They figuring it out that Jacksonville's gonna run that division, but and right now the other team in that division outside of Jacksonville, the Colts and the Colts and the Texans are fighting, for the number 2 spot, because I don't see anybody in that division overtaking Jacksonville. But getting back to the Birds, I really feel like that helps our passing game out. Now they don't have their top dog in that secondary anymore. Simmons doesn't have somebody who's going to be able to point these corners in a position to make plays. They don't have that veteran anymore. Now you're going to have another guy that's going to come in there, probably got a little experience, but it's not like Bird at all. So this is the time where you got to start attacking that secondary if this run game doesn't work, because the middle of the field is going to be open.
Yeah. I mean, I feel you on that. I feel like we can attack the deep routes because of the safety being a backup or somebody they planted in there since their starter has been traded. But I just feel like if we're going to do that, it's going to put the ball in his hands too much throwing it. I just want him to keep it down to no more than about 20, 25 throws a game and run the football. But if we have some open shots and some man-to-man, one-on-one coverage down deep, go ahead and take some shots. But try to stay within that range of 20, 25 pass attempts, man. I don't really want him to have a lot of pass attempts out there.
We got our guy Mike in the building. What's going on, Mike? Shout out to Mike out in Puerto Rico.
What it is, what it do, Mike.
Mike out there in the Boricuas, over in San Juan. But no, he says he hopes he can play a clean, mistake-free game. I mean, hey, so far the kid hasn't, but I hope he does too. But at the end of the day, we have to it's gonna be growing pains, because apparently they're not trusting Taylor Heineke right now to take the job. Logan Whiteside is sitting on the bench right now. So we're pretty much gonna be rolling with the kid. But speaking of rolling with guys and rolling with kids and whatnot, and people that's supposed to be improving, I gotta swallow my whistle today because Mr. Richie Grant definitely had a great game last Sunday. I'm like I said, I'm still gonna be hard on him, but I can tell you, I believe he had a great game because DeMarco Hellams is breathing down his neck.
I believe he's had a good game and has had a, he's improving because
Mhm.
of
Got pressure on him.
and he has a very, very good safety and Bankhead Bates to really coach him along and really show him how to be in this league and be a top flight safety. You see a top flight safety working, how he works, that gives you an opportunity to see how you can work. So we may have that may be a good thing, and to come, we have a great safety rotation. It might be a good thing for us in the
Now,
future.
here's the thing I gotta ask you. Now we all know that everybody talks about Alabama. Everybody talks about all the defensive backs that come out of Alabama. And I'll be honest with you, Kirby Smart had a lot to do with that. So y'all had a little bit of Georgia imprint on that. It wasn't all safe. But let's get to it. Do you think Bama safeties and Bama DBs are starting to kind of slow down now? Or do you think they're still pumping them out to where they can actually be worth, they can be worth, worth diamonds opposed to a pile of turds?
Well, I mean, every school and everything has like a little dip. I think they're having a dip right now, but they'll get back to their standard, probably the next couple of seasons or so right now. It's just like with Georgia with our running backs. I feel like we don't have that special running back right now in our room. I could be wrong, but
Oh, that's fair.
we've had years where it was a bona fide, no doubt that we had great guys that go in the first round, but I don't feel like we have that on the roster right now. Maybe they can develop into that, but just to say that teams have dips in talent. So right now, I think they're putting out better receivers versus DBs right now. So I mean, they're still putting out good players, but I think Helms is a good player. But I think we got him in steal in the late rounds, and he's just gonna have to wait his time, maybe a injury or whatever may happen when he gets his time to shine, and then don't look back. So right now he's just fighting for whatever he can do, special teams or wherever he can get in, and he'll find his way onto the field
Well,
eventually.
here's the thing, because the young buck can hit like a ton of bricks and he can go from sideline to sideline. That is something that we have lacked for years.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. No disrespect to Mr. Alford, and can't sit there and talk about those guys in their secondary. And I go back to with Willie Moore and what's my boy's name? Yeah, Willie Moore and I always forget my guy's name that was also on the other side of him. But we haven't had a secondary that efficient since then in the safety position.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion on that. But maybe I'm wrong. But again, we finally got guys that are in Tim Hensley. I'm gonna post this because I'm getting ready to cook my boy tonight. I love you, Tim, but I gotta put you out here. Now, everybody keeps talking about Keanu Neal. I'm gonna say this again. Keanu Neal couldn't cover a wet blanket if he was butt naked in Alaska trying to kid a cold. He couldn't, and that was his problem. He was a guy that would just lay a big hit, and most of the time his fundamentals were piss poor with tackling, with wrapping guys up, and let's just
He come
he
hit you.
cost us that game in Philly. He cost us that game in Philly. Let's just say that, man. I mean, it ain't just the offense, but on the defense side of the ball, he cost us that game in Philly. So look, everybody's enamored with the big hits, but I need a guy that can be consistent. That's my whole thing.
Yeah, my thing with Keanu Neal, like you said, he just wouldn't wrap up. I'm like, okay, you hit him, but the guy was a lot of times bounced right off the hit, and you didn't wrap him up and take him to the ground. Like you need to
Okay.
go. How these guys go in the off season and taking like different type of training. You need to go take some wrestling training, learn how to do a takedown, sir. You need to find out.
We're going back to Tim. I was just cutting up with you, man. I know you were just clowning, but we're going back to our one of our best Georgia State wrestlers that's on here. A lot of people don't know this, but Killian K. Worthy was one of the best in the state during the time that he was coming out of high school, ladies and gentlemen. So gotta shout out to my guy with wrestling back in the day, putting the hammer locks on jokers. You know how it go. And the Windsors.
Yeah,
But
decade. You know.
and Thomas Deku, thank you, Artavis. That was the other guy I was thinking of. Deku and William Moore, they were together. But getting back to it, now we were talking about the safety position. I feel like Helms is going to be a guy that you're not going to be able to keep off the field at all. At all. I mean,
No,
you're going to find ways to put him out there. And unfortunately, Jalen Hawkins was the recipient of the axe. So now it's like, okay, Richie Grant, you don't have anybody that's a buffer anymore, because if this kid takes your job, you're going to be the next one out of the door.
I mean, I feel like if he continues to develop, he may get replaced as far as being he may lose his starting job, but I feel like he could be in the rotation. He could just take the spot that that the other safety we just cut, the spot he had. That's all I'm saying. But if he doesn't perform, he doesn't continue to get better, and I see them releasing him. But a lot of these organizations do not like to be wrong, so they're on so many players that you don't want to be wrong again. Oh, we wrong again. Richie Grant, another guy. So it's like they want you to be successful, but it's also a business. We want to be able to win games. If you're not helping us win games, then it's hard to say why we're keeping you around. So like I say, I feel like it's a place for both of the safeties. I want Helms to get in there because I really like what I seen. The sample size that I did get from Helms, but I feel like his time will come. They kept him around on the roster. He didn't get cut, so I think they got a plan for him, and it's just going to just take time for it to develop and matriculate for him.
Well, our guy Chris Holloway, who comes on here, he's a resident Alabama fan, but Chris Holloway called it on draft night when he joined us for the draft. When we drafted DeMarco Helms, he said, we got to steal in the 7th round. Literally, we got to steal. And I don't understand why he dropped so low, because the kid led Alabama in tackles, and he also was second on the team with interceptions. So he was a guy that was definitely a playmaker, but never understood why he dropped down so low, because I honestly thought he'd have went, like, the way that he plays, I think he'd have fit in well in Philly. I'm glad we got him, but with that defense they got in Philly, him being that free safety would have been a serious problem for everybody.
I just feel like, players fall through the cracks every year. I mean, just one of those guys that fail. I mean, just like how Tom Brady fell to the round he fell in. I mean, just people fall through the cracks all the time. I mean, it's just about, finding that diamond in the rough in the draft and, capitalizing on it. And I feel like we're going to capitalize on it, but we got to have a plan. If Richard wasn't there, Richard Grant went down with I'm not, God forsaken, he goes down with an injury, then you will see Helms, your time is up, that your time is now. But we do have that's starting to play better, that's starting to make some plays. So it's kind of hard to sit him down. They may have wanted to sit him down, but like, man, okay, Richie, you doing all right now. You're doing okay. So it's like, I think that's where it is with Richie right now. But he does know that somebody's breathing right behind his neck, and somebody really wants that job. So I think it's nothing but going to help the defense and help the secondary. I mean, it's not good for both players, but iron sharpens iron, which Kirby Smart loves to say. So that's in that sense that's what they're doing in that position.
Man, Kirby Smart must have been hanging around. I'm going to tell you right now, Kirby Smart must have been hanging around some HBCUs, because a lot of them HBCU coaches talk like that. I keep telling people, when he was a graduate assistant at doggone Florida State back in the day, he was sliding over. I guarantee you he was sliding over to FAMU, learning from Coach Billy Joe, who won a couple of championships. Shout out to Florida A&M down there in Tallahassee, the better school in that city. I'm sorry, Tim, but y'all still trying to catch up to FAMU with y'all championships, big dog. But he's an FSU fan, so I got to rag him a little bit. But he's actually one of the good ones, though. But let's get back to this other part of the defense. The defense is ranked 9th in the NFL right now. How can they continue to keep improving?
I mean, I feel like, like I said, I feel like Helms is going to like I say, day in and day out, playing with your brother or your teammate next to you, that just that gel. Like I said, we're playing at this level right now, and these guys really just got put together. They had a little all season, but I don't feel like this is a group that's been together for years and years. Like some of the defenses around the league. I just feel like
Mhm.
that's the limit for these guys. When we getting Okuda back from injury, he's just getting into his groove now. So so a lot of these guys are just getting used to playing with each other. Lando, Bando, and taking people's jobs. So it's like, these guys are just gelling more and more together. And the better you get to know the next person next to you, how knowing why they play this game. As far as how many kids they're taking care of, their wives. So the more you get to know each other, the better you can play, the better you can communicate on the field and make better plays, and in turn have success for the team.
Agreed. And I'll say this: when you look at the fact that Octavius is saying we need more sacks, but here's the thing, Octavius, getting the sack is hard. You would rather have pressure to be able to throw off passes and timing, because the way that the NFL has become now is timing. It's hard to get sacks in the NFL now because of all the rules that protect these quarterbacks. So what we're doing now, we're able to get to the quarterback. We're able to get in his throwing lanes. We're able to make him change the angles of him throwing the pass. And that right there has helped this defense out a lot. Um, and honestly, I think that we get a lot of pressure on the quarterback. We're finally starting to get to the backfield a little bit more, and we're starting to change. Like I said, we're starting to get pressures on the quarterback. That's actually more valuable than a sack. A lot of people are gonna be like, "What the hell do you mean it's more valuable than a sack?" No,
Yeah.
when you have quarterback pressure, if you're able to throw off the timing of that route, where he might throw it a little bit too far in front of his receiver or behind his receiver, or it gets tipped at the line by a defensive lineman getting in his passing lane, that right there is just as much of effective because we get off the field a lot faster.
Yeah, man. Like I say, the defense is gonna do their thing, man.
Mhm.
That pass rush is what is helping us. What I'm seeing is having those guys in the middle, having that beef in the middle, man. I mean, we are pushing the pocket up the middle first. Then you got the guys that can come around the edge and close it up. If we continue to keep having that model, we'll continue to keep putting up multiple sack games. But I do, like you're saying, is affect that pocket. Move him off his spot so you can have him making rush hurried decisions, and he can create turnovers. But all, I think everything is good. We just don't need no injuries up on the defensive front, and I feel like
Mhm.
we need to get better and better. Caden Ellis is playing so well with Lando. I mean, these guys are playing off each other. You see it. It's really like poetry in motion on the defense. So if we could just get minor things cleared up, man, I mean, we could be one of the top 5 defenses. I think our ranking can go up even further than where we are now. That's just
Can
my.
we just go ahead and call Lando Mr. Land Rover? That's Land Rover right now. Because that dude, and I'm not talking about the truck. I mean, we might use the truck for an analysis form, just for a poster. Maybe I might use the truck for him. But I'm gonna say this here. I call him Land Rover because he tracks ball carriers. He literally covers ground. And if I got any military personnel that's up in here that was Army back in the day, my grandfather, he's still around. He was part of 101st, 82nd Airborne, Fort Campbell, Kentucky back in the day. But he was a Land Rover pretty much, where his job was he had to be trained to go behind enemy lines. And when you go behind enemy lines, you're covering a lot of ground and you're seeking things. Guess what? This linebacker that we have, Lanham, he seeks out ball carriers and he seeks the football. That is a guy that is a flat out football player. Product of Colorado University. Shout out to the Buffs and Coach Prime. But that kid he's just different, man. We've had him and now he's got his opportunity. And hey, Mike said we need to go get a pass rusher in free agency. I'm gonna be honest with you, Mike. No, you don't. You don't get a pass rusher in free agency. I'm gonna tell you who you go to. Trey Anderson is not. He's an athlete. He ain't a natural linebacker. Guess what? Put him at the edge. He runs a 4.4 at 250. he get him up to about 255, 260, and keep him in speed training. You put him on the edge and you move him around and you make him a pass rusher to go along with Zoe Carter, Bud Dupree, and these guys, because he's the jack of the box on the defense. He's the jack of the box. You can plug and play him anywhere. And with that speed that he has, he can come off the edge and literally throw off timing routes. He can stop runs, and he hit like a ton of bricks when he gets to you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That.
Use him more in the mode of a poor man's Michael Parsons. I mean, we need to use him that a la that. Where he lines up some everywhere, you don't really know where he's coming from. I think that's the model we need to use him in, and put Lando where he was playing at. But that's crazy, because I was thinking the same thing. But yeah, that'll be a great way to use him once he comes back from injury.
Exactly. So here's the thing. You got your edge rusher. You got your edge rusher right there. You understand what I'm saying? And no, and Mike agrees with me, but I got to put this out because everybody keeps saying draft. No, if we gonna get somebody, get an offensive lineman, please. Get a center. We need a center more than anything right now. Let's just be real. We're not going to splurge. I mean, there's no need to splurge money on playmakers. We have playmakers. We just got to use them. We have a solid foundation with the offensive line, minus two people, McGarry and freaking Dahlman. If you can get, here's the thing, Dahlman would be the easiest one to get rid of because he'd be the cheapest one to get rid of. You get you a veteran. Here's my thing. In free agency, if I'm going in free agency, I'm getting a center or I'm getting a guard, that I'm getting another guard, because point blank period, we have to be able to protect Ritter, because if Ritter get happy feet or he get nervous, he's going to make mistakes. So you've got to make him comfortable and bring in a veteran to really anchor that offensive line to help him out.
So what about a trade for a center? Because the centers that are out there in free agency right now are too long in the tooth, in my opinion, when I did some researching. So I'm thinking, just like they went and got the safety from Tennessee, why can't you phone and do some moving and shaking and try to bring in a better center?
So who would you want to go after?
Well, I didn't have anybody in mind. I haven't scoured the league and looked at different centers when you brought that up, because I was thinking we need a pass rusher, but that thought of getting a center or offensive lineman to help bring us in, that may be the better route. But I have to do more research on the centers that could be available for a trade, or maybe disgruntled. We got to get on the phone, or Fontenot has to get on the phone and start ringing some bells and see and kicking some tires on some guys and see if somebody want to come off a guy for a pick or something like that. Because I would give up a pick, not a first round, but I would give up some picks or whatever it may be if it's a great enough deal for a solid veteran. He may not be an all-star caliber center, but a better center than what we have, the better option that we have on our team right now.
I'm gonna tell you who you go get. You might like this one. Go get Ben Jones that plays center for the Tennessee Titans. Trade for him. And the reason I say trade for him, he knows Arthur Smith's system. He knows it. None of that stuff has changed. He understands calls. He's been in the league for about 10 years now, 10, 11 years now. And, he's 33. So you've got a guy who understands how to play football and be a professional. And he can actually help groom Ritter and make him a little bit better, because you got a guy that's been an anchor in the league for a while. Ben Jones is a guy that I would look at. There's no way that we're going to get Kelsey. Kelsey is staying with Philly. Kelsey's going to retire. He don't want to go there.
So
Ben Jones played at Georgia.
I know, but I'm looking for somebody maybe in the later 20s. I wasn't looking for.
I got another guy for you. Now, you said later 20s or whatnot. You got Brian Allen that plays for the Rams. He's 26 years old. He re-signed with the Rams for 3 years for $24 million. But I believe you can actually work. I believe you could finesse that one if you wanted to. Bradley, we missed out on Bradley Bozeman. He's with the Panthers now, and they brought him in for that. And it's a couple of guys, man. It's a couple of guys. So to me, I feel like the only available option right now is Ben Jones. You want to win now, you sign him to a 1-year deal.
I like Ben Jones as a stopgap. But we still have to address, a center.
We'll draft one. But I'm saying for now, so we can stop the bleeding with these bad
Yeah.
snaps.
We could do a stopgap with Ben Jones, but that's that. Now the ball's in Terry Fontenot's court. Can you make that happen? Because we do have options this year. We do have money. We have picks. We have things that you can use to make the deal sweeter. I mean, than past years. So, but he may feel like he's good with what we got. I don't know. I don't know what his thought process is. But I just hope that we at least make one more move before the trade deadline is done.
So I got a question for you. Now we gonna move on to another topic, but I want to kind of talk about that Ben Jones thing. Not too long, but here's the thing. You know, I know he's long in the tooth. I know you said stopgap, but here's the thing that really it makes it an appetizing type of trade that you can make. First off, he's coming from the AFC, and he's coming from a division where, you know, pretty much the AFC has been out more physical than the doggone NFC lately. It's just no lie. And this guy doesn't have to stop and learn the playbook. This man already knows the plays. He would be able to come in immediately. I'm not even gonna say immediately. He'll be able to come in as Mr. Clifford Harris says, expeditiously. He'll be able to come in expeditiously and play right there, my brother. I was watching in living color, so forgive me. I was watching there earlier, so you know I was on my tip today.
I mean, like I said, I'm like I just kept forward and saying that I think that'll be a great pickup for us to bring Ben Jones, and we have to make the call and go get him and bring him in. But I hope he has something left in the tank if we bring him in. He does know the playbook. He's very familiar with Arthur Smith's system. He is a Georgia damn good dog. So I mean, we'll take that and we'll see if we can make that happen. I just feel like we need to be on the phones. Maybe it's not too late. It's not even 10 o'clock. We could be talking to somebody over here in that organization now about getting a Ben Jones. We got to be serious about making the playoffs, and the time waits for no one. So I feel like we're in a good place. We are in first, so we just continue to keep doing what we're doing and just limit the turnovers. That's the main thing. Limit the turnovers and continue to play solid defense and run the football.
No, I got it. And you know, and it's just one of those things where I just look at it because I really believe that if we get a good center, I think that could anchor that offensive line just like Alex Mack did for us, because he was a stopgap guy for a while, and they kept him here, and then he ended up going to San Fran. So for me, it was just like it's a little crazy, and you know. But getting back to what we have, we talked about how the defense would rank and just being able to improve. We jumped on that. We're number one in the division right now. We're gonna wrap it up with this one. We're number one in the division right now. You know, 2-0, beautiful. What needs to be done to keep this momentum going? And do you believe we can sweep the division?
Well, like I said, we talked about all show long is just consistency with the play calling, consistency with the defense, man, and consistency with just coaching itself and the players not getting enamored and getting basically distracted by the city of Atlanta, man. I mean, the city of Atlanta can take you in different places in different ways throughout the season. I mean, you have to stay focused and take your butt to practice. You know, show up in every meeting. Take every meeting serious, take every walkthrough serious, take every everything serious, watching film, whatever it is, man, you got to take it all the way serious and not lollygag through the season, and for us to be successful this postseason, and to get to the postseason, to get an invite into the playoffs. But it's all about
hold up. Now you know I don't ever stop you when you're on the road. You just said something that just threw me for a loop. Invited to the playoffs? Nah, dog. I'm gonna have one of your moments right now. Nah, dog. We going. We coming in. We kicking the dough in, dog. We ain't finna just sit here. Can we get to the playoffs? No. Hey, man, y'all hold that spot down for us, man. Hey, Miss Lady, go ahead and get us some lemon pepper wings, a little something from the bar over there for my partners. Hey, we got this VIP section set up for these Falcons right here, for their playoffs right here, sir.
Hey, man, if we win the
I'm sorry, I had to cut up a little bit. Hey, I'm sorry, that's a little bit of that boom boom room coming out. Forgive me for that.
Yeah. Boom something, but But most definitely, we win the division, man. We're gonna have a seat at the table. We'll be in anyway. If we win the division, we do what we're supposed to do, and cross all our T's and dot all our I's, man. We'll be just fine. And right now, driver's seat, we continue to stay in the driver's seat and don't let nobody, get the driver's seat from us. We'll be just fine. So right now, we're in a good spot. It feels good to do this show, to say we're in first place. It's been a long time coming. Been a while. Glad to just be right here right here on in the bird cage with everybody tonight, man. It's been great.
As you said it, I know I can't sing, but I'm gonna try my best, like old Sam Cooke. It's been a long time coming, but I know them Falcons gonna come. Oh yes, they are. Hey man, I'm sorry. I was listening to a little Sam Cooke a little earlier, man. My granddaddy had me all into that. But let's just be real, family. We have a definitely great opportunity to step up and be in a spot where we can not only get to the playoffs but win games, because not too many teams in the NFC strike fear in me. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Not too many teams strike fear, because the big bad Philadelphia Eagles struggled with the Washington Commanders. You understand what I'm saying? They struggled. And I'm looking at the fact that we literally imposed our will on Washington. So Philly might be a little bit of a pretender, because they struggle with the Rams. I mean, hey, they only lost one game. Wins are wins. You take them however you can get them. But they are not the juggernaut that they were last year, where you stepped in front of them, you knew what was up. Only thing they got rolling for them is that they call it the tush push, but up here they call it the brotherly shove. That's what they call it on that 3rd and 1. So honestly, the way that they beat you is if you commit turnovers and you kill yourself with mistakes. They can be beat. It's so many. The NFC is still wide open. In the AFC, I just got to call a spade a spade. The Jags, the Chiefs, the Jets, surprisingly, they're the teams that are dangerous right now. And quietly, Cleveland is a team that's dangerous. So the few AFC teams that we still have remaining on the schedule, we got to come to New York and play the Jets over in Rutherford, New Jersey. That is not going to be an easy game. And
the styles make fights, man. It just feels like who can style, who can if we get rolling, like get our running game rolling, who can stop that? Then we get the play action rolling off of that and get rid of mix in more of those design runs, man. Like I said, it's about the styles that make the fight. Like I said, it's all about who we match up with well and who we don't match up with well. So we're gonna see moving forward, but I like our chances. I like the way that we're playing so far. And you're gonna have some games where things don't go your way. The ball doesn't bounce the way you want it to bounce. Turnovers here and there, but to limit it down. I still think we're on course to get those 10 wins that I said we were going to get, 10 to 11 wins. I think we're right on course, because we could be looking back weeks from now like, oh man, we only got 3 losses, with all these wins. So we were thinking the sky was falling in a couple weeks ago. So we just
I mean, hey, look, it's still a long season, so we don't know what's gonna happen, because
what I'm saying, but I'm trying to be positive about it.
I was getting ready to jump on your bandwagon with that, bro. Look, you done hitched up the wagon. Look, I've grabbed the hay bales. I'm sitting them in the back. Look, I'm leaning in the back, man. I got some fresh fried fish sandwiches in the back. Got some, lots and lots of hot sauce in the back too to go with it. And plenty of sweet tea and lemonade for everybody that's jumping on this bandwagon. If you like fresh fish sandwiches, not sandwiches, sandwiches, as bruh man would say. And I'm just gonna say it like how you're saying it. We have a chance to see Ritter. Possibly, you either gonna sink or you gonna swim right now. There's no in between for you right now. You either gonna get better or you gonna get worse. So I'm praying to God. I'm putting holy water on the altar. I done went to the benediction lounge like 5 or 6 times and prayed for this brother. Sip some communion and had some manna to go along with it. That's some good bread right there, though. No lie, that's some good bread. Had to give me some pita bread and some manna and just talk to God today and said, Lord, can you stop this brother from turning over the ball? You know, it's bad enough that, you know, it's all right that we got an elder Bodge brother at quarterback. I'm happy with that. He can't sing like him, but he darn sure can move and scat like him.
Well, like I say, man, you got that. I don't know what's going on. I mean,
I'm sorry, dog. I'm all over the place. I think it might be. Hold on. I think it might be the Gazelles, bro.
I don't know. Like, man, but yeah, Desmond Ritter going. I'm trying to keep it together, but Desmond Ritter's gonna be fine, man. I just feel like we got to give him time. It's hard to give him time because this city and this franchise and this organization is in a place where we're in dire need. I mean, it's been so long since we tasted some postseason action, and our city's kind of been a laughingstock the last 6 years for us in NFL football. So we're trying to get out the mud, and I believe either year we just got to continue to stay the course.
Man, our team has been as bad. I'm gonna tell you this here. Our team has been as bad as Pascal's being reinvented, bro. It ain't like the old Pascals or the old or Chanterelles over there in the West End, where you shut down the mom and pop shops and you try to re-innovate everything because it's Black Hollywood. We don't see spaceships on Bankhead no more. You know what I'm saying? Everything they kind of changed around that way. So they're trying to upscale the Falcons now. You know, we're sipping tea with our pinkies now. But I'm glad that we actually got coaches that still want to go old school and literally have a dog type of mentality where we can impose our will and we get down and dirty like we used to say back in the day. Cool Breeze said we from the dirty South, dog. Hey, we get down and dirty. And that's what we're trying to do right now. So, you know, we definitely have a chance to continue to keep our distance right now. And the Bills are beating up on Tampa, so that's good for them to lose. We need them old sorry bagheads to lose. Shout out to my auntie. I told you my auntie who an Aints fan. I'm not gonna call your name out, baby, but you know I'm talking to you. I need y'all to lose again too. But definitely we look forward to having the party line on Sunday. I'm willing this into existence. So
we need more pop party, more bottles popped and everything this particular coming Sunday. Party line, we're gonna put it in existence. And let's go, Falcons rise up forever. Let's go.
Hey man, y'all go up there. Hey, y'all go up there, Nashville, get this win and get y'all some of that Nashville hot chicken and bring it back home. That real Nashville hot chicken. That's a business trip and a food trip for y'all boys. Get some of that Nashville hot chicken. So once again, I'm the historian. Got my right hand man, my partner, Killer K-Dub Worthy. We were definitely enjoying having you guys into the cage tonight with us. We definitely appreciate y'all for coming. We will see you guys. Oh, we got one more comment. I'm gonna read this before I finish officially end it. So, 3 Dirty, what's going on, fam? Welcome to the cage. First timer that I'm seeing. He says, I think the NFL has humbled Arthur Smith to realize that he is not the smartest person in the room. So he has to pay attention to what's going on at that moment. And he's saying, get away from analytics. I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly. But he believes his offense is the best thing since sliced bread, or pretty much like plastic bags are the pickles, or or Vienna sausages to hit the hood over there off of our 85. You know what I'm talking about? But I got the cloud, man. So Arthur Smith got humbled today. I mean, he's gotten humbled. It's like you go from eating sirloin steaks and eating ribeyes all your life with lobster on the side. Now you in Atlanta right now trying to figure out how to get this thing rolling, and you eating pickled pig feet with plastic bags, sausages, you sipping honey drippers, got little penny candies at the store and penny cookies. You have literally went from being at the top of the food line to learning how to live in poverty, and you're trying to figure out how to get out of poverty. And that's what the Falcons are right now. We still are in poverty. We got the division, but we have not ascended to that penthouse yet where we can eat steak and lobster like these other squads, man. I'm the historian, Ryan Walker. My guy, K-Dub, Killer Killian Worthy. We will see y'all We will see y'all Sunday at the party line. And by the way, go Dogs. We finna clap them cheeks on Florida this weekend. Hey, y'all be good. Y'all be blessed. We love you. Thank y'all for coming through. Hey, this has been the Birdcage, dog. We out of here.